Welcome to this short introduction to the WriteOn Phonics app. It's going to show you through the menu items and some of the gameplay. Firstly, launch the app. This brings you to the home screen. If you click the play button, you'll get a menu where you can choose the tiles that you'd like to play with. The plain tiles on the left-hand side have the alphabet in one colour and the digraphs in another. This allows children to clearly see that two letters make one sound. On the right-hand side, you have the handwriting tiles. These have the main body height within the green, tall letters go into the blue sky, and long letters go into the brown soil. On each letter is a guide to enable children to trace over the top and practice their handwriting. We're going to play with the plain tiles today, so tap on them and you'll be launched into the main gameplay board. Let's run through a few of the main menu items. The menu at the top stays the same throughout any of your gameplay. At the top left, we have the home button. Clicking this will take us back to the home where we need to select our tiles again in order to get back to the gameplay board. Next, we have the sound button. Each tile, when double tapped, will play the sound that that letter makes. It will also show it in word context at the bottom of the screen. By tapping on it, you get a red line which enables the sound to be disabled and you won't hear any sound at all. Clicking on it again enables the sound to be heard. Next, we have the pencil tool. Clicking on it brings you up a menu that you can select the colour that you'd like to draw with. I can then draw anywhere on the board. Letters, sound buttons, circling sounds, whichever I'd like. If I then tap the rubber button next to that, in turn, I will remove each mark I've made. By tapping again on the pencil button, I remove the menu. Next, we have the handwriting line menu. That'll give me a set of lines at the bottom of the screen that the children can practice their handwriting on. This is generally intended to do after you've created a word with tiles at the top. Tapping again removes the handwriting lines. Next, let's look at the sound button menu, which is up here on the top, the word with the dots underneath it. If I tap this, I'm given a tinted area where I can build some words. I can tap the tiles, drag them, and create a word in the space. Next, I can grab my pencil tool, select a colour, and underneath I can draw the sound buttons that represent each phoneme in that word. In hat, there are 3, h, a, t, so I can draw 3 dots. This is now a good opportunity to show the zoom tool, which is over here on the right. If I tap this, I zoom into this area and I'm given a floating menu which has the pencil, the rubber, and zoom in and zoom out. I can zoom in further, which then if I select the pencil tool and a colour, I could draw over the top of the letters, tracing to create my own word and practice my handwriting. I then have an element of pinch and zoom. If I then tap zoom out twice, I'm brought back to my original menu. I can then use the screen grab tool to click and put a copy of whatever I've created on my board into my photo roll. Great for collecting evidence. Next, we have the delete tool on the far right. If I tap this once, I remove any mark making I've made, double tap it, and I clear the screen completely. Lastly, let's look at the digraph menus, which are located at the end of the main alphabet menu. By tapping on any one of these 4 buttons, you'll bring up an additional menu where you can tap on a tile and bring it into the gameplay area. Clicking the red cross at the end removes the menu back into its button. You can then click on additional alphabet tiles to create words, dragging them across to pull them together. Always a good idea to align the baseline. By swiping any tile to the bin, you can remove it. Many vowel sounds can be made up of combinations of letters called digraphs. By allowing children to look at these as they're trying to work out the correct spelling, allows them in their heads to play with what looks right as well as what sounds right. So viewing the menu in this way can be very important. It's also important to be able to drag the tiles into the gameplay and then test out what looks right. This is a key feature of WriteOn Phonics. Children can drag them, play them, and work out which looks correct as well as sounds correct. This is an important part of spelling. Alternatively, you could give the child a particular sound that they're being learning in their spelling or a phonic phase, and help them to explore particular words that can be made up using that sound. They can just change the word by changing a particular tile, exploring what looks right and what sounds right. Or you could challenge children to spell the word using the correct digraph. For example, with doing the long O sound, each of those tiles does make the long O sound, but I want to spell snow or blow. Which one looks correct as well as sounds correct? Children can drag them and experiment with what looks right without the added pressure of writing it and having to rub it out. So I can see that that looks correct, and therefore that one might be correct as well, so I can go and grab one more tile. It's a good way of playing in a kinesthetic way to enable spelling skills to be developed further. These are just a few ways of how this app can develop children's spelling, phonic awareness and handwriting skills. A list of words for each of the digraphs and letters is available on our website. There is another video with some more gameplay ideas. Be sure to check that out. In the meantime, thank you for watching.